Nevada local government. Citizens in the United States pay more attention to the national government than to the state government, and they pay more attention to the state government than they do to local government. This is partly due to the nature of the issues. For example, national government deals with so-called big issues, like war and peace and economic policies. It is also in part due to the fact that the media pays very close attention to national government and somewhat close attention to the state government. However, on a daily basis, many local governments can affect citizens even more than the national or state governments, even though the internal workings of the national government will almost never be covered in the media. The most we see of local government in the media are things like police brutality occasionally, like some quarrel at the city hall, but we are never shown in depth and never explained really how the city government, local, and other types of local government work. So what kind of important issues do local governments address? Taxes, sewage and garbage services, law enforcement, zoning, liquor licenses, and schools. If you look at all these issues put together, you will see that they make up a mosaic, almost a mosaic of everyday life, so they are highly important. These powers are limited and they are partially defined by the states. Local governments are creatures of the state and have no independent power. As subdivisions of the state, they may exercise only those powers given to them by the state constitution and by statutes. In 1911, Judge John Dillon defined the power of local governments. Those granted to them in express words, those necessarily or fairly implied in or incident to the powers expressly granted, those essential to the accomplishment of the declared objects and purposes of the corporation, not simply convenient, but indispensable. If there is a fair, reasonable, substantial doubt concerning the existence of power, the doubt is resolved by the courts against local government, and that power is denied. Local governments do not have to have separation of powers. This is a sharp contrast with the national and state governments. When Nevada's first territorial legislature met in 1861, it established 9 counties. This was 3 years before Nevada became a state, on October 31st of 1864. Today, the state has 17 counties. And you can see a list of counties in this video. The most populous county, Clark County, was established only in 1909. The governing body of each county is the Board of County Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners must be elected. The number and salary of commissioners is up to the state legislature. Clark County Board is the largest. It has 7 commissioners. The smallest board, found in several small cities, only has about 3 commissioners. All are elected in partisan elections for terms of 4 years. Midterm vacancies are filled by the governor. County boards of commissioners have only the powers given to them by state legislatures. They tend to have the following duties: law enforcement, administering the state statutes on health, marriage, divorce, child custody, and property. Some of the more populous counties have also hired professional county managers to assist them in managing the county bureaucracy that were created to fill those responsibilities. Many county department heads are independently elected and therefore cannot be controlled by a board of commissioners. The problem this creates is the lack of focus of responsibility. Here are the offices that are independently elected: the county clerk, district attorney, county recorder, county assessor, sheriff, public administrator. Townships. The legislature has also established 55 townships within the state's 17 counties. Unlike in some eastern states, townships are not particularly important in Nevada, except as legal subdivisions in which justices of the peace are elected. City governments. Cities are called municipal corporations in the Nevada Constitution. Cities may be established by general or by special charter. What are some of the types of charters, general and special. What is really the difference between them? A general charter is a standard form of city government drawn up by the legislature that permits creation of a municipal government under its terms. Special charter is usually drafted by a city itself to reflect its particular requirements, but which must still be approved by the legislature. There are 18 cities in Nevada, 11 established by special charter and 7 by general charter. Cities perform the same general functions within their boundaries as counties do within theirs, although their powers are broader than those of counties. Cities are governed by a city council chosen in nonpartisan elections. Unlike county government, which is subjected to the structure imposed by the legislature, cities are free to adopt the form of government most attuned to their needs. In some cities, like Las Vegas and Reno, the mayor is elected by the voters. In others, the city council selects the mayor from among its members. Like the counties, some of the larger cities have hired professionals, city managers, to administer the bureaucracy. City managers, just like county managers, serve at the pleasure of the council or commission. Unlike in the counties, most department heads are chosen by the manager rather than elected by the voters. So the city council and manager tend to have greater control over the structure and functioning of city government than their counterparts in the county have over county government. What are some of the other local governments? Let's look at school districts. They're a particular type of local government too. In 1955, the state legislature consolidated the state's 167 school districts into 17, one for each county. The Clark County School District is now the 5th largest in the country. The governing body of each school district is an elected school board. The board appoints a superintendent to manage day-to-day affairs of the district. The school boards have tremendous discretion to establish district policies governing attendance, curriculum, and many other facets of the education mission. They are, however, still subject to the dictates of the elected 10-member State Board of Education. At this point, we also have to separate between K-12 public education and higher public education. Higher education in the state is governed by the Nevada system of higher education's elected 13-member Board of Regents. The state has also established more than 100 non-educational special districts. Nationwide, such districts are the fastest growing entities at the local level. These district governments are responsible for performing a single function and include fire districts, health districts, water districts, library districts, and so on. They are governed by boards, some elected and some appointed, and some of them have the power to tax. As local government entities, they are also creations of the state and exercise only those powers given them by the state and may be altered by the state legislature. Here you can see the names of the cities, whether or not they're established by special or general charter, and the year in which the city was created or incorporated, as they formally put it. So, for example, if you look at the Las Vegas metropolitan area, you see several cities. Boulder City was incorporated in 1959. Las Vegas was Henderson was incorporated in 1953. Las Vegas in 1911. North Las Vegas in 1946. So of these 4 major cities that make up the Las Vegas metropolitan area, the oldest one is Las Vegas, 1911, North Las Vegas, 1946, and then we have Henderson, 1953, and Boulder City, 1959. What are all these other areas, like, let's say, Enterprise, Paradise, what are they? They are unincorporated areas. So who administers unincorporated areas? Who provides services? Answer: the county. The county. And this also answers the question as to why cities are created. If counties already provide services to unincorporated areas, why do unincorporated areas sometimes want to become their own city? The answer is to better control their resources and to tailor services to the needs and desires of their citizens. Thank you.